Hi, today I'm going to show you how to put together the cross gift box. So before I start, I'm going to piece together the top cross panel, but I wanted to give it a little edge, and I actually had cut this out on white cardstock. I printed it out so I have white edges. So I'm using the chalk for twofold. I'm using it to kind of hide those white edges a little bit, and also a little shading around the edge. And I like the blending of what chalking can provide, so that's why you see me use that a lot. The chalk I use is from a company that no longer exists, but I do like Pebbles, and I do have Pebbles as well, but I'll continue to use this particular chalk until I'm done with it. I've had it for years, and it lasts for a very long time. But I do have a pebble set, actually a couple pebble sets. One metallic, which is a little bit different consistency than normal chalk, and another one that has base colors like this. And I'll put a link in the video information in the description if you're interested. And I also use this little Fantastics. You can see how it looks once it's done. It just gives it a little extra edging. And I use these little Fantastics from, I can't pronounce the company, but I'll put a link to that too. I know you can use just, if you don't know, they usually come with applicators, but I like this better because I have a dull point and a sharp point, and you can actually just cut these. They're like cotton tips. Anyways, I've had them for years as well, and they work, so why change? And I do use chalk instead of ink, so I can erase it. That's what that white eraser is there for. So once that's done, I'm going to use my little Zig 2-way glue pen to add the details to the top of the panel. You can see it just centers in each section. One thing about this particular design, you can opt not to use this portion. There is a blank panel that's a background that'll hide the tabs, and also it's a background. You'll see, it's in the upper right hand corner, but I'll show you it in a minute. And that can be just used by itself. I mean, it would be cute with an embossed pattern on it just by itself, and you wouldn't need this. So you can get different looks with this cross box. So if you want something different, like a Easter lily on the front, I would just use this solid panel, and then you could use your own files, whether you have other SVGs or you get it off the internet, whatever it is. This is just kind of an arbitrary design I came up with. I thought it would be pretty. And I do this first before I put the box together, because I just like it ready when I want to put it on. When I'm ready to put it on, the box is ready, I want it there. So this, you can see right here by itself, it's pretty with the embossing. Or with this example, obviously I'm going to glue it. Oh, there's my glasses. I don't know how that got in there. It has an interesting effect though. Okay, I went artsy-fartsy and I didn't even know it. And then I just flip it over to apply pressure after I glue it on, just to make sure it's secure. So now we're going to go on to putting the box together, and you can see how these are arranged. Arrange them on your table like this. This is for the bottom box. It's got a thicker edge. And fold it as shown. As we go through, we'll make other folds, but for now, fold it as shown. And that's for the back panel, and we'll put that aside for now. So that's really the bottom of the box set, the cross portion. But first what we want to do is to glue together the edges. So in order, you're going to go from left to right. We're going to add glue to that little tab, and then align the edge of that left piece to the tab fold on the right. We're going to continue We're taking that top piece, make sure that the little tabs are up. That's how you know it's situated right. And glue that tab behind the edge of that previous piece. And then we're going to do that last. And it really can go on only one way, so I didn't want to have to number these. So if you visually have them in the right place, it'll all go together correctly. That's critical. So now that you have them together, they'll just be wrapping around to glue onto the box. So what we want to do, you see there's the first 3 tabs will glue to the side here. You want to fold at this score line after the 3rd tab. I'm just showing you how it's going to go. You see we're going to fold inward. We're going to add glue to the 3 tabs here. So we're going to attach these tabs side by side at each edge. So you want to slide it under. You kind of want to start with the first tab at the bottom and then go up and make sure that the edge of that bottom piece aligns with the tab fold, and that place where it's folded inward is right in the corner. If it's right in the corner, everything will match up. You see that we'll hide those tabs later. Now we'll do the next section, which you can see are the next 2 tabs. This gets easier as you go around. As you do this and you're used to doing it, after you do it a couple times, it's not so bad. It gets faster. That's the reason I assembled it this way with the panel covering it. So we're going to slide those next 2 under. Make sure that those the edge of the box meets the tab folds. And then those next 4 tabs will curve around that next edge. So you can see we'll just continue to do this on each section. Again, you want to kind of make sure that those are curving around if you start from the very first tab to the last tab and apply pressure as you go. So you can see how it's coming together. We want to fold that inward because that top tab, we need it to go into that little corner there. So again, we're just going to slide it underneath. Make sure that fold meets in the corner there, in that corner of the cross, and then apply pressure. So we can continue doing the same thing, but what I'm doing is just going and folding it where each corner or edge of where we kind of make changes to get it ready for the rest of it. And at this point, I'm going to glue the other edge tab underneath the other side. We could have done that at the beginning, but I found that this box was difficult to put together for me when I did it at the very beginning. If I put it together at the very beginning, it didn't allow me to have the flexibility I wanted. But you can try it. And also, if you don't want to go side by side, like each edge, you could probably do 2 at a time. You just have to make sure you start at the very first tab and keep on going up. I'm not really the greatest at doing things quickly. I tend to make mistakes. So for me, I'd rather go a little bit slower and get it right. I've tried the other method and it doesn't work for me. But kudos to you if it does. Everybody's different. So the repetition here, you see now we glued the tabs underneath the top portion of the cross box, and then we'll continue with the next couple sides. I'm showing you could do it this way too, but that's why I slide it in. It doesn't stick for me as well as sliding it under and then holding it. Just find your method, and whatever works best for you, go with it. The biggest issue is just making sure that the corners that fold in are flush into their corresponding cross corner, and that the edge of the bottom panel aligns with the inside of the tab folds. That's the most critical portion of doing a shaped box like this. And here I did 2 sides at once. And I wasn't so great at either. And I know what I'm doing. So as we get to the end, you see it's going to have to fold inward at one point. So I'm just folding it right there. Then it's up to you. You can, I thought it was easier to glue the bottom 3 tabs first and then finish it up with that last side. But you could do it the other way. I did it the other way with the lid, which you'll see shortly. Then one more side and it'll be finished. And again, all those tabs will be hidden by a panel. I mean, if you don't care about them, then I guess you don't have to cover them, but this is the panel you can add to it. It's slightly smaller than the bottom. We don't want it overlapping really. We just want it covering the tabs. So you just want to lightly rub it once you get it on there, and then you can flip it over and apply pressure from within around the edges, I would say, just to make sure it's stuck and it doesn't come flipping back up on you. So we're going to do the top of the box, the lid, similarly. So you see I'm arranging the pieces. So watch how it's configured carefully. You'll see the left doesn't have any tabs, the right has a tab, and the top has 2 tabs. So you can just watch this. I'm not going to walk you through again, but it's the same as the bottom of the box. The only difference is it's the top of the box. So here you go, and I'll resume after we get this all together. So now we have the lid put together. There was one last tab. Didn't glue quite right. And that will go on top, that little panel that we put together earlier. And so you can see this carefully goes onto the top here. It's not the perfect fit. Let me be clear, it's very difficult with the curve to get a perfect fit, especially as you're kind of pulling on the edges of the boxes when you're gluing them. So this time I'll put glue on the top here of the lid, and then we'll add the panel. Be careful how much glue you use based on the paper that you used. I just want to say that. I had embossed, the panel was embossed, therefore it's harder to glue without a little bit more glue for me. But I also know my glue well. Then you can flip over and apply pressure to make sure that it is secure and the edges aren't lifting up. Especially with those tabs that are on the top. Get some excess glue off. Then I did have a little edge that didn't glue right at the top, so just check it before you're done. Then it just goes on like that. And that essentially completes the box. I just wanted to add a couple little things so you can see how you can embellish it. I'm sure you have more ideas than me. I ended up adding some stickles, glitter glue, to the middle, and a couple rhinestones in those circular areas. I also did a second box that had some shaped kind of rhinestone stickers that I utilized. So here's the rhinestones. And I'm sure there's some other ideas you all have. And I will show you both this box and the other box I made. And I hope you enjoyed this project. And I thank you so much for watching.